Hello, it's Sid Cordle. I'm the leader of the Christian People's Alliance, and I'm speaking out today on the subject of Kate Forbes, who is a member of the Scottish Parliament and who was considered to be the front-running candidate to be the next leader of the Scottish National Party. Now, the first thing I want to say is that in the Christian People's Alliance, we stand 100% for God. We do not compromise on any issue, but seek to make sure that all our policies reflect biblical teaching and reflect God's heart. And that is the place where we have chosen to be. It is very difficult for politicians in other parties to be 100% Christian, because they have to also consider what their party's policies are, and they also make a commitment to follow their party's policies. So it will always be difficult outside of a Christian party to be 100% committed to God. Nevertheless, there are many people in other parties that do have a strong Christian faith, and Kate Forbes is certainly one of them, and we honour her for her Christian faith. Now, having said that she is a Christian and is standing for the leadership of the Scottish National Party, she's come under phenomenal attack from the New Age liberal media that absolutely hate Christians. Now, the first thing I want to say is that this attack is illegal, because the Equality Act says that religion and belief are protected characteristics. That means that under the Equality Act, there's no difference from attacking somebody from their religious belief as there is attacking somebody for a sex. In other words, for attacking them because she's a woman, or attacking somebody for their race. Attacking her because she's black, if she was black. That is as much a protected characteristic as religious belief. So the attacks are illegal. But even though the attacks are illegal, they are persisting and they are vicious. So the question we ask is, where do we go from here? Now, the first thing I want to refer to is the problems that Tim Farron faced as leader of the Lib Dems. Now, he was always a committed Christian and was host of the National Prayer Breakfast before he became leader of the Lib Dems. When he resigned, he made this statement: "From the very first day of my leadership, I have faced questions about my Christian faith. I've tried to answer with grace and patience. Sometimes my answers could have been wiser. At the start of this election, I found myself under scrutiny again, asked about matters to do with my faith. I felt guilty that this focus was distracting attention from our campaign, obscuring our messages. Journalists have every right to ask what they see fit. The consequence of the focus on my faith is that I found myself torn between living as a faithful Christian and serving as a political leader. A better, wiser person than me may have been able to deal with this more successfully. To have remained faithful to Christ while leading a political party in the current environment. To be a political leader, especially of a progressive liberal party in 2017, and to live as a committed Christian, to hold fast to the Bible's teaching, has felt impossible to me." In fact, what Tim Farron did was compromise his Christian faith. He said, when pushed, that homosexuality is not sin, which he knows was contrary to the Bible's teaching. So he said, I was not able to be faithful to the Bible's teaching because I felt a commitment to the Lib Dems. Sadly, since then, he's decided that he is to stay within the Lib Dems and continue to be unfaithful to biblical teaching, which is sad, because having left the leadership of the Lib Dems, he could have said, I'm now going to be faithful to Christ and I'm going to join a Christian party in the Christian People's Alliance. But he chose not to go down that path. Anyway, that was his position and that was his decision. So what can Kate Forbes learn from Tim Farron, and what should she do? I'm going to suggest there's 4 things that she needs to do. The first thing is that she needs to be strong and not compromise her Christian faith, and needs to make that clear. So she needs to say that I am a Christian, I'm not going to compromise, and be strong. Now, the thing is, you see, Tim Farron compromised, and because he compromised, he was shown to be weak. And I'm afraid he lost support because of it. Now, if you're strong, the media will back off because their attacks are illegal. And potentially, the SNP, if she became leader of the SNP, could take the media to court for these illegal attacks that are being expressed. So the second thing is that you've got to realise that if you're strong, you have the option of legal action. The third thing is don't express an opinion, express the teaching of the Bible. See, Jacob Rees-Mogg, when he was attacked over his views on abortion, said very clearly, I follow the teaching of the Catholic Church. And even though they pushed him, he said, I repeated, I follow the teaching of the Catholic Church. And they couldn't pursue their attacks because he wasn't expressing his opinion, he was expressing the opinion of the Catholic Church, which is, under Catholicism, is entitled to interpret the teaching of the Bible. It's not separate teaching from the Bible, it's merely an interpretation of the teaching of the Bible. But the Bible is very clear. God formed you in your mother's womb. So Jacob Rees-Mogg deflected. Now, Kate Forbes should do the same. She should just simply say, I am following the teaching of the Bible, which she has a legal right to do. Now, it's important to understand that Christian values are not subjective. Our values are following the teaching of Jesus, objective moral values. Atheist values are all subjective. They're all a matter of opinion. Our values are not a matter of opinion. Kate Forbes' values are not a matter of opinion. So she needs to make that clear. And fourth, she needs to pray, because prayer is very important in these situations. We believe in God. She believes in God. She believes in the power of God. God invites us to pray and ask for help. He says, if you lack wisdom, ask God. And that's what she needs to do in this situation. Now, the other thing she needs to consider is if she doesn't compromise, if she stands by the biblical teaching, if she prays, she's willing to take the media to court for her attacks, then it's quite possible she may not be able to stay within the Scottish National Party. Now, we do not put up candidates in Scotland anymore. We have in the past, but we're not planning to in future, because we support the Scottish Family Party. So, if Kate Forbes, in the situation she's in, cannot face these attacks, she should leave the SNP and join the Scottish Family Party and make it clear she's doing so on the basis of standing for God and for God's values. I believe if she does that, she will be blessed and she will have favour and she will win elections for the Scottish Family Party. They're a very good party in Scotland that are already getting significant support. And Christians need to stand for God and stand unreservedly for God and receive that blessing. And if she does that, I know she will be much happier. She'll be happy for the rest of her life because she's doing the right thing. If she compromises her faith, she will never be happy. So Kate, do the right thing. Stand for God. And if you can't stay within the SNP, join the Scottish Family Party. That's what we suggest you should do. And God bless you.